Hi friends, I'm Marek Matarbus. If you're new here, welcome. If you flow with some of my videos already, welcome back. Today I'm gonna guide you through a sequence I created for people with lower back problems. Obviously it's good for everyone because we're gonna stretch our hips, strengthen our core, open our hamstrings, so it's gonna be a really yummy flow. But it's especially good for people with some tension and some troubles in their lower back, as we're going to integrate also some twist to create some mobility into the lower spine. So I hope you enjoy it. If you do like it, please subscribe to my channel so you can always stay updated with my videos. For the flow today, I'm gonna use a bolster and a block. If you don't have either of those, it's okay. You can always roll a blanket and you can grab a book or something to give you a little bit of support. So let's hop on the mat. To start with, we're gonna place the bolsters underneath our knees, or again, it can be a rolled blanket or anything. It can give you a soft support underneath your legs. And we're gonna come all the way to lay on our mat. The bolster underneath the knees is gonna make sure our lower back is flat onto the ground. We're gonna close the eyes here just for a few moments. Palms facing up, taking up as much space as you need. We're gonna start connecting to our breath, shifting our awareness to here and now. Scanning through our body, from feet to head. Noticing if we're holding any tension. And see if we can release it with every exhalation we make. Bringing the focus on our breath. Letting go of anything that doesn't serve you anymore. Last couple of big breaths here. Clear and center the mind. We're going to gently blink the eyes open and we're going to start bringing the knees into our chest. Give them a big squeeze, maybe rocking from side to side, massaging the pelvis, the lower back. We're going to grab hold of the knees with our hands. We're going to start circle them away from each other and to meet again. A couple more circle in one direction, moving with consciousness, and not just because you have to do the movement, but really tuning in into your body. And switching direction. Noticing how each movement is making you feel. And one last one. And bringing the knees back into center. We're gonna kick the bolsters or the blanket away towards the top of our mat. We're gonna grab hold of the back of our thighs, We're gonna start rocking backwards and forward a few times to massage our spine before getting enough momentum to come to seated in a cross-legged position. Here, if you're having a bit of difficulties because maybe you're a bit tight in your hamstring, you can always place that blanket underneath your seat or even the block or the book. You can grab your block and place it underneath your sitting bones, so it's going to give you a little bit of height for your knees to come down easier and should feel a bit less intense. You can keep the legs one in front of the other or crossed, whatever is it feels best in your body. We're gonna sit tall, keep the torso stuck over the hips. We're gonna take one big inhale in through the nose here and exhale out through the mouth. We're gonna inhale, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, I'm gonna mirror you. We're gonna bring the right hand down towards the mat, reaching the left hand overhead. Opening up the chest, maybe even bringing the gaze up towards the ceiling if it feels comfortable for the neck. And really keeping both sitting bones grounded into the mat. So we're not looking for this, but we're looking for a side body stretch. Last inhale here. And exhale, we're gonna bring that left hand on top of the right knee and that right hand behind us. We're gonna inhale here to really sit tall, reach through the crown of the head, open the chest, and exhale to twist. Again, trying to keep the torso stuck over the hips, so the tendency might be to lean back. See if you can keep one straight line. And maybe with every exhalation, we twist a little bit deeper. Inhale here, and exhale to untwist and come back through center. Onto the opposite side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, the left hand come onto the mat. Finding that side body stretch, keeping the gaze down onto the mat. Or maybe bringing it all the way towards the ceiling. Breathing into the side rib cage, really feeling your body elongate, creating more space. Inhale here. And exhale to bring that right hand on top of the left knee and the left hand behind you. Inhale to sit tall again. Create space into your chest. Exhale to twist. And again, same thing here. You can push yourself slightly and gently with that hand on the knee. And with every exhalation, you go deeper into the twist. Inhale here. And exhale to come back through center. We're going to inhale, bring the shoulders up towards the ears. And exhale to release down. One more time, inhale all the way up. And exhale to release. This is one of my favorite movements because you can actually feel all the tension dropping down and away from your body. Nice. From here, we're going to bring the legs together. You can also roll over your toes. And we're going to come into a tabletop position. Here, the wrists are directly under the shoulders. The hands are shoulder width apart, spreading the fingertips wide and pressing away from the mat. So shoulder blades are coming away from each other. So we're not just sinking down like this, but everything is active and engaged. The knees are directly under the hips. We're tucking the tailbone under. Inhale. We're going to bring the belly down towards the mat. Roll the chest open, lifting the sternum up, look up. Exhale, moving in the opposite direction, arching the back towards the ceiling, bringing the chin to the chest. And again, inhale, moving with the belly down towards the ground, lifting the sternum, looking up. Exhale, arching the back, chin comes to the chest. A few more rounds. Maybe here you close the eyes, focusing on how these movements feel into your body instead of what they look like. Maybe you move all the way back and all the way forward, massaging the wrist as well. Maybe you rotate the hips one way and the other. Maybe you're moving in a straight cat and cow, and that's good. And just giving you a different option to explore what your body in this moment needs, what kind of movements it craves. Maybe you just got out of bed and you need to really wake up the spine. Maybe you're taking this flow just before to go to bed and you prefer a more simple, straightforward movement. Coming back through to the neutral spine, through center. From here, we're gonna bring the left hand slightly into the middle, and we're gonna extend the right arm forward. The left leg goes back. We can stay on our toes here, or if we can keep the alignment still, nice bit, still pushing away from the mat, keeping a long spine, then we can lift the left leg up. Inhale here and exhale, knee and elbow meet into the center. Inhale to reach forward. Exhale, crunching in the middle, engage in the core. Inhale, extend, maybe wobbling a little bit, and exhale to crunch. Inhale to extend, and then release both hand and knee down onto the mat. Here, please really notice if you're sinking down onto your lower back, and keep activating your core and pushing up. So otherwise, we're just gonna add tension into your lower back. So coming back into your tabletop, moving and do the opposite way. We're gonna extend that left arm forward, coming onto the toes of your right leg, finding that alignment, tucking the tailbone under, and maybe we lift the right leg up. Inhale here, exhale, elbow knee to meet at the center. Inhale to extend, exhale, knee and elbow meet, crunching up the core, rounding the back up. Inhale, reach forward and back. Exhale, rounding. Inhale to extend one last time, and exhale to release both hand and knee. We're gonna come sitting on our heels, give a bit of a shake to our wrist, making fists with your hands, and rotating them one way, then the other, and then give them another shake. Nice. We're gonna come back to our tabletop position. We're gonna tuck the toes, pushing the sitting bones towards the heels, and all the way up into our first downward facing dog. So here I really want you to, especially if you're a bit tight in the hamstring, to bend the knees and bring the torso closer to your thighs. In this way we can create more length into the spine. So instead of keeping the legs straight but being here, we're really pushing the ears in line with your arms, the spine long, the sitting bones are reaching up high, keeping that bend in the knee, reaching energetically down through the heels, wrapping the triceps away from the ears. Last breath here. We're going to look towards the hands and start stepping all the way towards the top of the mat. Coming into a forward fold. Here, the same, the knees are bent, the torso is over the thighs, the neck is relaxed. We're grabbing opposite elbows and we're wiggling from side to side, shifting the weight from one foot to the other. Maybe nodding the head yes and no to create a bit more space between the shoulders and the ears. Releasing the hands down, bending the knees even deeper and start rolling vertebra by vertebra as slowly and consciously as you can. All the way up into mountain. Shoulders are rolling down. The feet can be hip distance apart, or we can bring the big toes together and heels slightly apart. We're rooting down through the four corners of our feet. Palms are facing forward. Finding a softening in the shoulders. Reaching tall through the crown of the head. Finding a smile here. We're going to inhale, bringing the arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, leading with your heart. So keeping the hips in line with your heels. So we're not just pushing them back. We're going to forward fold. Keeping the knees bent. Relax the neck. Inhale, coming halfway up. Hands can come onto the shins or onto the thighs. Finding a long spine. So be aware if you're arching it. And see if you can find a flat back. Shoulders away from the ears. And exhale to forward fold. Planting the hands onto the mat. Stepping back into your plank. Wrists are directly under the shoulders. Tailbone is stacked under. Core is engaged. Exhale to release the knees down. If chaturanga is in your practice, you're welcome to take it. I'm gonna guide you through a bit of a more soft version of sun salutation. From here, we're keeping the tailbone tucked under. We're bending the elbows and wrapping them into our body. And lower the body in one straight line onto the mat. Here we're going to inhale, find your back bend, a baby cobra. Lifting the hands from the mat, no weight is on your hands. Exhale to press the hands onto the mat and push yourself up. Sitting bones reaching towards the heels, tucking the toes, lifting up. Downward facing dog. Finding that inverted V shapes. Same amount of weight should be in your hands and feet. Finding length into the spine. If ever downward dog becomes a bit too strong, or again, you're just not looking for strong practice today, you can always lower down, coming into a tabletop position. Remember, this is always an option available. Otherwise, we're gonna stay into downward facing dog for one more breath. And from here, we're gonna bend the knees, look towards the hands, stepping the right foot forward and the left to follow, taking the remaining step, coming onto the top of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold, neck is relaxed. Inhale, coming halfway up, finding a long spine, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, reaching the arms wide and up towards the ceiling. Exhale, coming down into center, into heart center in prayer. Here we're gonna bring the toes together, the heels slightly apart, or you can keep the feet hip distance. We're gonna bend the knees, lowering the sitting bones back and down, like almost you were sitting on a chair. Here we're keeping the tailbone tucked under, the core engaged, and all the weight is over on your heels. So see if you can lift all 10 toes. The hands can be either side of your ears, looking up, or if it's a bit too much for your neck, for your shoulders, you can keep the hands into prayer. Inhale here, and exhale to release all the way down into your forward fold. Inhale to find a flat back. Exhale, planting the hands, stepping the left foot all the way back towards the top of the mat, the back of the mat. Releasing the back knee down, attacking the toes, coming up, lifting into your low lunge. Here the right knee is directly over the right ankle, the toes are facing forward, the hips are squared towards the top of the mat. Engaging through the core, wrapping everything into the midline. Softening the shoulders down, maybe look up. And from here, we're gonna exhale, keeping that right hand up, bringing the left hand down onto the mat, or even down onto a block or a book as a support, lifting the right hand up towards the ceiling, coming into a twist. Exhale to release down, framing that front foot again. And we're gonna start walking the hands back, keeping the hips lifted, extending the right leg, keeping the front foot flexed. We're gonna come into half splits. So here, maybe you need that block again. Find whatever setting, maybe it's the high setting. You're staying here with a long spine, feeling the stretch into the hamstring. That's good. Maybe with every exhalation, you go slightly deeper, lower into the different setting of the block. Or maybe coming with your hands onto the mat, keeping that length into the spine, reaching forward with the crown of the head. Through the crown of the head, we're gonna lower slightly the torso over that front leg. Breathe in here. We're gonna nail bend that front leg again, coming all the way towards the top of the mat. And wiggling that right foot all across towards the left. Keeping the right knee towards the right, so it's not all the way into the center. Maybe bringing that right foot towards the left hip, squaring the hips towards the front of the mat. Inhale here, and exhale to lower down, maybe onto your forearms. Maybe you stay all the way up here, maybe with a block. Otherwise, you can come all the way down, keeping the hips squared. So chances are that maybe you need to bring that left hip slightly forward, creating a pillow with your hands, coming into sleeping pigeon. Here we are opening that front right hip. And it can be quite an intense pose, quite an intense stretch. See if you can bring your attention, your focus onto your breath. Last couple of breaths here. If your hips are really lifted from the ground and it feels a bit uncomfortable, you can always place a blanket or a block underneath your right hip for a bit of height and support. From here, we're going to gently bring the hands underneath the shoulders and press ourselves all the way back up high. We're going to lift the back knee, enough to press our right foot back, coming onto our knees, flowing through your Vinyasa, lowering the torso down, lift it up into your back bend and pressing all the way back, tucking the toes, lifting the sitting bones up, downward facing dog. Keeping that bend in the knee, pushing the torso towards the thighs. From here we look towards the hands. We step one foot forward, then the other, coming all the way to the top of the mat, releasing the neck down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale to release down. Bending the knees, coming up straight into that chair pose, finding your alignment, engaging the core. And exhale to release all the way back down. Inhale to find a flat back, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale to release. This time the right foot reaches all the way towards the top of the mat, releasing the knee down and tucking the toes, coming up into your low lunge. Staying lifted here, softening the shoulders down, gaze maybe is up towards the ceiling. Exhale to frame the front foot, walking the hands back, straightening that left leg, flexing the left foot. Maybe finding that block for a bit of support, coming into half splits. Here the hips are lifted. If you want a more restorative version of this pose, you can always come all the way sitting down. The stretch is going to be a bit more mild, but it's an option. Otherwise we're here. Maybe our hands come onto the mat. Inhale to keep that length into the spine, and then exhale to forward fold. And noticing also which side is a bit stiffer. We all have one side that is a bit more flexible, is a bit more strong. For example, for me, the left one is my weak one, the less flexible. Bending that knee, again, coming towards the front of the mat. Placing that right hand onto the ground, peeling the left hand up into a twist. Opening the torso. And exhale to release the hand down. And start wiggling that foot towards the right side of the mat. Coming into your pigeon pose. Notice if your hips are squared, maybe again you place a little block or a blanket underneath your left hip. You're going to inhale here to find a long spine, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale to maybe lower down onto your forearms or all the way onto your forehead. Keeping those hips squared, maybe bringing that right hip slightly forward. Noticing the chatter of the mind here. Seems to get louder and louder when we hold in poses like this. Notice your thoughts without judging them or changing them. Notice them passing by. And bring your attention back to your inhalation and to your exhalation. Gently we're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders and push our torso up. And this time we're going to lower ourselves onto our left sitting bones and bring both legs straight in front of us. Here, if you're finding a bit hard to keep the torso stuck over the hips or the legs straight in front of you, you can always keep a micro bend into the knees. Otherwise, you can also place a blanket or the block underneath your sitting bones for a bit more height. Here, we're gonna keep that left leg extended with the foot flex and the right knee in towards your chest and across your left thigh. Both sitting bones are grounded down. We're going to inhale, bring the left arm up towards the ceiling, and exhale to wrap it around your right leg. The right hand comes behind you. Inhale to sit tall, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale to twist. Again, with every exhalation, maybe you twist a bit deeper. Exhale to untwist, coming back through center, extending that right leg long. We're gonna inhale, finding a long spine, and exhale to start forward fold over your legs. Maybe you grab a little strap or something to wrap around the soles of your feet and maybe using it as something to pull. It doesn't ever have to be a strong pull or create any tension, so it's just there to push you a little bit deeper into the pose, but otherwise we don't need it. We can keep the long spine, and with every exhalation from the hips we forward fold. Maybe the belly touches the thighs. The aim here is not to bring the head onto the knees if it means rounding the back. So really reach, imagine to have a string pulling you through the crown of the head. Maybe you're all the way up here and you're feeling the stretch. That's amazing. That's all we want, so that's good. So don't get discouraged. If you do have a little bit more flexibility, and you can reach for the soles of the feet, keeping that spine long. A few breaths here. And then start slowly to walk all the way back up. This time we're going to keep that right leg extended, bringing the left knee up towards your chest, then across the right. Inhale, right arm reaches towards the sky. Exhale to wrap it around your left leg. Left hand comes behind you. Inhale to find space and exhale to twist. With every breath, you go slightly deeper into the pose. Inhale here and exhale to release down, bringing that right leg, left foot across and to extend. Here we're gonna grab that bolster or blanket again, place it underneath our knees and start lowering all the way back down on our mat. Adjusting yourself, taking up as much space as you need. Letting your body melt into the ground. Releasing any tension. Soften all the muscles. Soften that space between your eyebrows. Relax the jaw. Letting go of the control of the breath. Just relax here into your last pose, Shavasana. Remember, you can stay in Shavasana as long as you need. So take your time, listen to your body. Thank you very much for joining me for this class today. I hope you feel better and that your lower back has a little less tension. Hope to see you soon. Have a lovely day.